Love for me is being able to love me when I'm at my worst. Being able to still care for me when I don't have it all together. You know, I I'm 22 and I've been through probably only two real relationships, and I would say that I learned a lot. I'm not going to dwell on the past because everything was just a learning lesson for me. But when it comes to love, I'm starting to understand that it's not about having it all together. It's just about willing to stay. Because when you think of love, you think of when I think of love, I think of endurance. How much you're willing to go through, how much you're willing to fight. You know, willing to endure. You know, and even when it comes to marriage, marriage isn't just it isn't all just sweet and easy. No, y'all gonna have disagreements, y'all gonna argue, y'all gonna fight, but are y'all willing to stay? Are y'all willing to continue to work it out? And that's what love is. Loving me when I'm not 100%. Loving me when I'm just not myself. Still seeing me, still seeing the best in me when I'm just nothing of what I look like. When I don't look like I'm the best at all. That's true love for me. Being able to be there for me, being able to hold me up when I'm down, because in this life, bro, nothing is. You're not really sure. You get what I'm saying? So it really comes down to finding somebody who's not only is in alignment with the goals you have, where you're trying to go, but also willing to be there for you, willing to endure, willing to pick up the pieces when you fall apart. I it. I'm trying to like word this a little better, but it just you just have to that has to be something you want to do, whether she or you. Y'all both have to be on the same page, and you have to be willing to put up and forgive. Because as y'all go together, y'all gonna learn. Y'all gonna learn how to love each other better. Y'all gonna learn how to treat each other better, spoil each other better. And this generation, I can honestly say this generation lack patience. Even me, I lack patience. This generation lack genuineness. They lack, authenticity. Because everything is just about a lifestyle now. Everything is just about it's just a facade. It's all for show. And you're not gonna be 100% all the time. So, and I don't want to come off to social media as being 100%. I want y'all to see, the good me, the terrible me. Because it's just like this is life. This is reality. You know. And I tell y'all, like, no matter how much money you got, bro, money don't fix everything, bro. You might clear the debt. You might be able to pay off the little sum that you owe, but after you do all that, what's next? You still have to find your reason to live. You get what I'm saying? And you cannot live this life without loving something, without enduring something, without suffering through something. You have to be willing to just put up with certain things. Not everything, but you just have to. If this is the person you truly want, if this is the person you truly love, you sure this is who you want to be with, you're going to have to deal with some things, and you have to be willing to know that, and you have to be willing to go through it. Because when you really love somebody, you're going to be patient with them. You're going to be able to understand things, even when it don't make sense, but you're going to want to understand, because it's like this is who I'm going to be with, and whatever problem pops up, I'm going to be able to work through it. And this generation is it's not like that no more. You got to have everything figured out. You got to come meet her and just have it all together, and I'm not saying every female, but that's just the type of generation this You know, that's just the type of love that this generation mention now. You know, you gotta have it all together. But it's like if I have it all together, I'm not gonna want you around. You know, if I got it all together and if I'm rich and if I got rich by myself, I'm not gonna wanna. I'm really not gonna want to trust anybody. You know, because who was there when I was trying to make it happen? Who was there when I was building this business? You get what I'm saying? So it's like I'm not gonna trust you at the top. I'm gonna trust you at the bottom. I'm gonna trust you in the process. You know, because it's like you was there when I had nothing. You watched me elevate my life. You get what I'm saying? And I think that just has to be something that person want to do. You know, because you can't force it. You know, and it's just like, wow, do this person love me with $0 in my pocket, or do this person love me when I finally get paid and I'm able to give them the things they want? And this is just like, if you could love me without getting the things you want, you can, like, we can make it through anything. You get what I'm saying? You're genuinely here for my character. And it's like love is just like when you meet the person that say they love you, you know, y'all supposed to help build each other, not break each other down. You get what I'm saying? Y'all both have flaws, y'all both have mistakes, but are we willing to forgive each other and move past that, you know? And that's the type of love I want. I want that forgiving love. I want that love where it see past my flaws. You know, it see that I genuinely made a mistake and that, you know, we're willing to work. We're willing to work on it and also move past it, you know? I don't want to dwell on nothing that is just going to hinder our love for each other, you know? And that's the type of love I'm looking for, where it's just like, are you willing to endure? Are you ready to put up with some of my craziness? You know, I'm not saying you got to deal with everything, but just how I be feeling sometimes, you know? Yes, I'm in control of my feelings, but I'm not in control of life all the time and how it goes for me. All I can do is maneuver and adapt. You get what I'm saying? And I think love is just about, it all comes down to endurance and forgiveness, because it's just like you're going to have to deal with some things and then you're going to have to be willing to forgive some things. Some things you're going to have to release from your heart. And it's just like, I don't think many people are willing to do that, you know? And just because we're young doesn't mean this is the time we could do what we want. This is the time we build structure. This is the time where we build systems on how to, you know, take care of ourselves and you know, just build ourselves up to be ready. You know, these are our preparation years, not our having fun years. Because it's like when you have fun during these years, you're not going to want to settle down later, because it's like you're so used to having fun. But when you use this time to prepare yourself for that person, you'll be ready to settle down because you spent so much time preparing yourself for someone. You know, you believed that you was going to have someone by this time. You believed that, you know, you would find somebody who actually meet the standards that you had prepared for and set for yourself. And they're also going to be prepared, because why would you prepare for something that isn't preparing itself? You know, why would you want to be in position for somebody who never put themselves in position for you? You know what I'm saying? So I think love, it go hand in hand with that. And I truly wanted to share that with you guys, and let me know y'all thoughts, you know, how y'all feel about love in this generation, what it looks like and what it is to y'all, you know. But to me, I think it always comes down to endurance and forgiveness. How much you're willing to go through and how much you're willing to forget and forgive. I'll catch you on the next one.